You're in the show.
Welcome back. Welcome back. The screen say you are live.
Yeah.
This is Robaer, Washington, host of the Robaer Report. Once again, we're back on Monday night to discuss individuals. Man, I'm sorry, my phone went off. I'm gonna cut this off. So, you know what? My show came on my phone.
Hey.
Hey, look, man, I'm famous. I keep up with myself now.
Right.
So we're back once again, Mr. Khalil Bleux.
So what's up?
One of the founder or one of the founders of Agency 515, suicide prevention training arts program, focused on theater in California, San Diego area. I believe it's San Diego, right?
Yeah, so.
Yep. So I look, man, my mind, hey, I ain't young as I used to be, but I'm still
stopped in these streets.
right. so we back, so last week we discussed, we introduced Mr. Khalil to the community, and this week want to go take it a step further and discuss his work in detail. I just mentioned Agency 515 suicide prevention training. We're not gonna keep him here long. We had him here. We kidnapped him for an hour last week, so we're gonna make it light. Make it. We're gonna make the time light, but it's such a much needed conversation around this topic. So, if I can, I'm going to find this. I'm gonna remove that. Also remove the Facebook link. Hello, come on now. We live and they throwing all these buttons at me. Come on now. Ain't
Look. I'm real now. The people gonna mobilize against it now.
I'll tell you, man. Ain't that skill. Come on now. I want the man to have some type of respect for him. Come on, y'all.
Nothing but.
Oh man, so we're gonna jump right in. How you doing today, Mr. Khalil? What's going on with you?
I'm doing good, man. It's a good day. I'm enjoying. I've been getting some work done. It's been productive. I tapped out of work when I was overwhelmed with that. Spent some good time on the phone with my friends, so I'm feeling in good spirits. How about you?
Okay, man, it was good, man. I spent some time at a Juneteenth event. Actually, two Juneteenth celebrations this past weekend. And yeah, man. I'll be honest with you. I think I'm a black guy. I don't know if many people can see that, but I'm a black guy from Mississippi. I don't know if you can hear it either. But
thank you for being brave enough to come out.
What'd you say?
I said thank you for being brave enough to come out.
Man, I'm trying to let them know. Hey, this is where I'm from. So on the screen we have the Agency 515 website.
Shout out.
Mr. Khalil will go through that in detail. And yeah, I was talking about the Juneteenth. I'm kind of ashamed, but not. I was educated this weekend, and the fact that I forgot that 2021 Juneteenth became a federal holiday.
Absolutely.
So I wake up this morning, I'm expecting things to be open, and things are closed. I'm like, what's going on?
Baby, they are shut down.
Shut down. The air smelled different. People was all jovial outside. I'm like, what's going on? And I forgot that the holiday was for Monday because people were celebrating it over the weekend. I was like, okay, I got you. I felt pretty bad for a minute. Then I said, man, let me start enjoying the day like everybody else. So I sat in the house and did nothing.
Black folks doing
you
for America.
So yeah, so I went to a couple of events this weekend, man. So we're gonna jump right in, man. Mr. Khalil, what's going on with the website, man? Our Agency 515, talk to us.
Yeah. So this is our webpage. It's aart.agency515.org is where we're at. And this page is specifically speaking about our suicide prevention skills training workshops that we hold. So in the last episode, I talked a little bit about QPR and the suicide prevention skills intervention that we offer. And so here is an older flyer for some of the workshops that we give. Our our website is going through a little bit of a rebuild. We're doing some brand redevelopment, and so we're getting a brand new page and new social media and everything right now. So I'm excited to share. We got a new logo, all kind of cool stuff. So I'm excited to share some of that out. But if you go to the current website, it has some information about what QPR is, about what that training entails, some of the information that folks take away. We have some information about sort of what the current landscape of, suicide is looking like. And then there's some access to our page about some local and national resources, local to San Diego, but also national resources accessible across the world to folks that were interested in getting some more information about how to recognize the warning signs and about what kind of resources are available to support folks who may be wrestling with hope right now during these times.
Understand? Okay, awesome, man. Hey, man, you gave it's like you do this all the time, man. It was succinct, and it was, it was easy. It was easy to listen to you talk about it because you have a deep passion for the work that you have involved yourself in. And what I didn't know is I'm reading it. Did you know that suicide is the second leading cause of death for youth 10 to 24 years old? Man, that's deep, man.
Correct.
It's deep. I mean, you 10 years, 24 is, I guess, a different demographic with regard to age. But you're talking about 10 years old, man. You think of a 10-year-old, they playing, minor league not minor league. They're playing softball and baseball in the park during the summer, trying to run a flag football, playing with a Barbie doll.
Yeah, and it's worth mentioning that statistic actually expands to 10 to 34 years old. Wow. But I don't know if you know anything a little bit about like research. They sort of do like research in age group demographics. So a 10 to 34 range covers a couple of pockets of how they look at this issue. But I specifically pulled out the 10 to 24-year-old range because that's the exact age group of young people that I work with. And I think that it's important for folks to I'm not always a huge statistic person because sometimes they don't tell a full story, but I think that it's important to pull out information like that because folks need to understand how serious and severe this issue is, and that a lot more people are impacted by this than we're aware of and are living this experience. And I think because it lives in such a place of silence, is such a taboo conversation, we haven't yet developed the comfort of just saying out loud, like, this too has been my experience, or we don't always have the relationships that we need in place to reach out for support when we need it. But when we have the conversations and when we're in spaces where we're talking about this, we almost always discover that this issue has touched more lives in your immediate circle than you may even be aware of. They say that on average, we lose someone to suicide every 11 minutes in this country.
Wow.
So like it is a thing that is affecting us at alarming rates, and a conversation worth having.
Ms. Khalil, I said this last week because the topic is so heavy that at times I will say something that will lessen the impact, not the impact, lessen the hardness of this conversation. So I'm gonna do that right now.
We love a little levity.
A compliment, man. Look, your gold chain blinging, man. That thing blinging. I appreciate it. Yeah, I just want everybody to know I see that chain, man. My man over here bling. Lil Wayne ain't the only one who doing it.
Hey, dang, I learned from my man Wayne. Shout out to him. Yes.
Yeah.
Wayne, I don't know if you know this, but Lil Wayne also has an incredible survival story. And he is also a survivor of attempt. When he was a young person, actually in the demographic that we were talking about, he famously survived a suicide attempt and has an incredible story. If folks haven't heard that, you should definitely check that out.
What? Hey man, I was just making, I was just communicating about your jewelry.
Right,
You
yeah.
added another level. This is what we gonna do.
Yeah, to our point. It's around. We've all been touched by it, and I think, like, to your point, like, for levity purposes, because it's important to have joy, even when we're talking about pain, right? Like, I think, the beauty of suicide prevention, right, is that it's more about life than it is about death, right? It's more about affirming life and helping people to build hope and to support people through, like, some of the rough places, and remind them that their story is worth continuing, right? That there's another opportunity that to experience joy, and prevention is all about celebrating life and building hope, and promoting those things as much as possible. So there is a lot of joy that I experience in this work, because I get the extreme privilege to be with people and be reminded on a consistent basis why we live, right? What are our passions? What are our hopes? What are the things that we're all collectively fighting for, dreaming about, loving on? And when you look at suicide prevention work from the lens of its core intention, which is about preserving and affirming life, the work in itself and the opportunity to be with someone in that process of reconnecting to hope is really some of the single most joyful and rewarding experiences I've had in my career.
Okay. So I'm gonna take us back, if I may, to what got you into this work. I mean, we talk, so I know the answer, but for the audience, what got you into this work? First question, A, 1A, then 1B. What's the significance of 515, in particular 515? Continue, sir.
Yeah, and I think we talked a little bit about the name in the last video. Yes, 515 being a number that represents liberation, right? And speaks to the idea of your thoughts and your feelings creating your reality, is what 515 means. It's also a palindrome, which is a number or a word that is read the same frontwards and backwards, and we use it to represent our represent transparency in the space, which is a thing that we're all collectively working towards. But I think the significance of why I do this work is really about my lived experience. They say that sometimes you get to choose your career, and other times it chooses you. And I really do feel chosen by this work. It's something that I've experienced in my own life, having to use these resources and find these tools to reinvite hope into my heart and mind. When I was dealing with it for myself, I've lost a few family members to this issue, as well as colleagues and students and partners. It's just been a thing that has shown up in my world enough that you go, hey, maybe this is something I should pay attention to. You get curious about a thing enough, and then when you realize how preventable, right, suicide is, and how many opportunities there are to support a person along the journey before they arrive at that decision, it really, for me, it was a real motivator to learn more and to do more and to participate, because the truth is, recovering from a suicide loss, the pain of that is a very specific experience, and the grief is one that is expansive, and I'm really motivated by my own experience to make sure that people don't have to experience that kind of grief, because it's not necessary, and there are other ways. there are other ways to get needs met, and I'm
Okay.
committed to showing folks as many of those possibilities as I can.
That's right. That's right. So walk us through uh entry to your program. Sorry. So a young person, age 24, comes into your organization off the referral, however they make it. They are dealing with suicide, or they have, let's say they have attempted suicide. They're a survivor of uh, a suicide attempt. You're also going to have people in your organization. I assume you have people in your organization who are not so dealing with suicide. They like the arts. Would that be correct? They just like the arts and they like your program. Would I be saying that right?
Well, I think both things are true. The cool thing about my team, the social workers, we are all artists with lived experience. I really think
Okay.
that that's important to have some spaces where folks can meet you in your experience, right? And so we are uniquely positioned as a team of folks that are both in this work professionally and in this practice in life. And I think that sort of enhances the support that people experience when they're with us. So I'm really excited and really actually proud of that piece. But I think most of our engagement with folks come through us just being active in the community. We do a lot of work that is about removing the shame and silence from the issue. So you might see us at a pop-up event or an open mic, and it might like present as a concert on the surface, right? But when you get in the space with us and you listen to lyrical content and you hear the stories and see the resources, and you are sort of invited into this conversation through a lens of safety and creativity and community fun. And from there, we usually identify the folks that are interested in being with us at a deeper level. So we have different camps and different programs that run throughout periods of the year. And we usually do like standard outreach and letting people know, hey, we're doing a thing over here. Come join us. And then parents and families and teachers, often when they have students in their classrooms or are experiencing things with their young folks, I'm privileged enough to have become a resource to parents. And so they reach out and they're like, hey, I think my kid needs to spend some time with you, so I love being able to be available to my community in that way. Yeah.
Okay. I got you. And so, and I appreciate you for elaborating on that, because you kind of answered another question that I have, is that when a person comes into you, if they come in out the street or they come in through an entertainment venue, is what I'll call it. I hope, I'm trying to dice my words, because, if they come in through by way of one of your entertainment events, you all have like multiple tracks. You have multiple tracks or multiple paths that people can decide that they want to take. Just like everybody get on stage and act.
Yeah, we call those access points, right? And we are very intentional about building safe access points to people. So even in our organization as a whole, we do a couple of different things. So some of our spaces, the conversation that's happening on the surface is more about leadership development, right? So we have some programming where young people want to just come in and try out what it looks like to use their voice, or to build some activation around something that they're passionate about in the community, right? Or we have some spaces that are meant for talking about healthy relationships in its own sort of category, and different things. We have a program called What Happens in This House, which deals specifically with family relationships. And so there are a lot of different ways, but the root of that work is all about suicide prevention. It's all about building a connection to understanding that that wellness is relational, right? It isn't about what you're living with, but how you're living with it and what conditions are set for your care.
Okay.
And most of that is about the community that you have around you, the safety that you have with the people in your circle that you're able to check in with and say, today's not a good day, or I might need some support around this. And having the kind of people in your life that can stand with you in moments of challenge and even motivate you to take the brave step that is required to pick up the phone and call a hotline, or to walk into a, a, a community resource space and get the support that you need. There's a lot of bravery required in that, and sometimes, a lot of times, we need community support to stand with us in our acts of bravery.
Mhm.
And our spaces are really specifically designed to build as much community as possible, so that folks can take what they need from the relationships that they
Okay.
build.
Okay. I got you. I got you. And so we have this page for resources, and
Yes.
it is chock full of links that you
Mhm.
can tap on, or phone numbers you can call. We have the live. We had the was it the live chat up last week?
Yeah.
I think it was a live chat you had given. Yeah, yeah, that's right. And wow, you have the deaf of heart of hearing suicide prevention. Oh my,
Mhm.
that's like real. That's a niche. I never thought
Yeah.
about that. You know,
Bringing in
go
as
ahead.
many people as possible, to having, really letting people know, when you say that folks aren't alone, right? You have to support them with evidence that proves that. And so I
Hmm.
want to take time to shout out to my partner in creativity, New, who actually organized this list for us. Um, and designed it in this very beautifully organized way you're seeing. But the idea behind us compiling a list that could speak to everybody is really about those access points. And it's like, how does a person who has, a hearing impairment reach out for support, right? How does a person who speaks a language other than English get access to support? How do folks that come from communities that may have tailored needs, like indigenous communities, Black communities, queer communities, places that
Yeah.
require folks who understand them in order to increase safety. Um, we want to show people that,
Wow.
like, there is a resource available for you as well. And um, so
Okay.
yeah.
So I'm going through here. So you have um, and to niche it down, the Black Line. I assume that's for blacks,
Black folks, shout out to
youth
them.
friendly, Black folks, youth friendly.
Yes.
That's niche down. Youth safe space. Because I'm just gonna shout them out. If you want to just stop me and over talk me, man, and just if you want to speak about
I
one
know, shout them out, say
more
their
in
name.
depth, yeah. So know the signs, youth friendly mental health resources, call Black Line, youth safe spaces, substance abuse related survivor, the Trevor Lifeline. That's the LGBTQ lives. In your organization, out of the amount of people that come, which one of these has more people from these specific niche groups? Would you say it's LGBTQ that has more, or would it be um was Latino one of them? It
Yeah.
wasn't Latino. It was, yeah, it was. It's Spanish speakers. Is it
Yeah, we have
Spanish speakers that come in a lot more often? Is it the LGBTQ crowd? Is it deaf crowd? Which one?
yeah, we serve all people and of all backgrounds. We do. And what I found in my experience is that more often than not, people are holding multiple identities. And so we never,
Okay.
a person can speak Spanish, be Black and gay all at once, so there it's
right. That's right.
It is we just try to saturate the room and the spaces with as many resources, and then we're always curious about who we may be leading out of the conversation and what work we need to do on our end to build a relationship with those resources. So if there's something that you don't see on our list and you're watching this, please reach out to us and share that information, and we'll get it up on our site as soon as possible. And then our list is by no means the end all be all or comprehensive. The American Association for Suicide Prevention, the CDC, also have really great expansive list of accessible resources, as well as some of the resources that we've listed here. If you go to their pages, their pages also contain a list of resources that you can access. Technology be loading, man.
Okay, gotcha. There was a little bit of lag going on.
Yeah. There we go. This must be the registration page. Yeah.
Thing out. I'm telling you, this I would have had. I don't. So I'm just kind of going to your website just to let people know that it is very interactive. They can click, they can learn. This page right here is definitely moving a lot slower than the rest. Let me go.
Yeah,
there's a registration. Go back to the home page.
Yeah, I'll just share that in this registration. I think our registration approach is also very. We try to create as much accessibility as possible there. So, like, if you go on, a lot of the questions are about helping people identify themselves and their why, like what brings you into the space and what are you curious about, what do you want to learn from us, and we like to tailor the experience around the questions that folks are holding sometimes, because I think once you can help connect the dots between the wisdom a person is already holding and the space in which they're desiring to learn, we usually get a much more deeper and a much more richer experience with folks when we can invite them to be a part of the design. But yeah, we also spend a lot of more time focusing on the art around it, right? We do a lot of creative writing, a lot of role play, a lot of different things that help people put the skills that they're learning through the technical training, put them into practice through the arts in the space, so that when they walk away, they have an opportunity not only to learn the steps, but they'll have had a chance to actually practice implementing them.
Okay. So if they see a person in their daily life who may be possibly struggling with suicide, they can assess it, and doctor or anything, highlight, in the best way possible, highlight it, maybe talk to the person, maybe, and if it's not a dire situation in that moment, go and inform the appropriate authorities, your organization, about what's going on and figure out how they can help. Does that sound about right? You all kind of training, because we discussed that the last show. What was it? We discussed, the idea that, go ahead.
Yeah, QPR in itself, the acronym sort of details out what we're inviting folks to learn how to do, right? How to recognize the right warning signs, ask the right questions, how to refer someone to the right resources for support. And it is our hope, like we say in QPR, what CPR does for the heart, QPR does for the mind. So it is our hope that we will provide these skills to as many people as possible, and in the hopes that when this issue shows up in their life, should they recognize signs, or should they arrive in a conversation where someone is expressing ideation to them, they will know what to do. They will know what to say. They will know how to support, and hopefully feel brave and empowered enough to play their role in potentially supporting that person to continue to have life.
That's right, man. That's some awesome work you all are doing, man. You know, like I think we discussed it, and we coming up on our time for the day. Like I held you for an hour last week. I'll keep it short today, and we're gonna definitely have back on the show. But the work that you all are doing, man, is definitely award winning worthy. I don't know if you all have received any awards outside of, you know, the individual who goes through your process and they find reward themselves to say, dang, if it wasn't for this organization, then I may be in a different place right now. But because of the support from Agency 515 and the set, now I'm able to walk along with some people who have dealt with what I've dealt with and who have taught me how to overcome my situation and then empowered me to be able to notice it in someone else and, you know, offer this gift to them. If I was a millionaire, I wouldn't give you all the millions now. I give you some, give a couple of the dollars out now. I got to spread the wealth around. But, you know,
take them.
So,
and any millionaires who are watching, we will take.
You know, I think I sent you a link last week after the show, and you're welcome to use this in the manner that you see fit. Hopefully, the technical issues don't drown out the message, because if they do, then I just have to drag you along again. Hey, man, we got to do this over again. Retake.
No, I just wanted to take the time to also appreciate you and thank you for the care in which you're handling this conversation on your platform to give it the life and the time that it needed, and to even, you know, be having this conversation in your space with Black folks. I think that's really, really dope. So thank you for doing that work and for inviting me to be a part of it. I appreciate it.
That's right. You know, I never said what interested me in this work. So when I was in 6th grade or 7th grade or something like that, there was a little young white girl, and she you know, she committed. I'm gonna just say how she committed suicide. You know, and it was my hometown of Starkville, and it was like that day the rain dropped differently. It was like a vibe in the air. I think she was younger than me, but the vibe was different all throughout town, and it was the suicide wasn't weird. I'm not talking about that, but the day was the time different.
The way people were holding.
I remember that day specifically. Right, and it was like, this is something that should be examined, you know. But I was young. I was 13, 12, 13, 14. I didn't know. I just knew that a person that was with us at one point, who's a young person, was no longer with us. And over time, I really thought about what that meant. You know, so that's what got me into a lot about what your organization is teaching. So, you know, I put you out there like that. And I just want to put myself out there like that to show where this interest can be. Yeah, man. So once again, this is Brother Khalil with 515 Suicide Prevention Training Through the Arts in the QPR method. Check out their website, Google them. They have a QPR training coming up soon. And, you know, spread love, man. Support the organization. Pay the fee. Pay the fee. And one thing I didn't say. Oh, man. Well, thank you so much for your time, bro, Khalil. I really appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much for having us.
Yes, sir. Take care. Peace. Have a good one, y'all. Until next Monday, Robaer report. Peace.